Previously on Talk That Talk. You felt right.
I gone.
I think across the board, and I'll be brief because Quan just hit the goddamn nuclear bomb drop on us. But boy, Quan, I was so proud of you, boy. I was just sitting over here proud, man. It made me feel good.
I'm gonna be the villain this week, y'all.
Hey, you know I got your back, Quan. You ain't say one thing that was false.
What people fail to realize is though I like fighting, so please don't walk up to me with that stupid shit either.
Hey,
like just being.
You hear what I say all the time, Quan. When I know I'm about to say something, and somebody about to come on the show, don't be disrespectful because I ain't the one. I'm sorry. I'm still from Portsmouth. Yeah, don't let this doctor degree fool. I'm still from Portsmouth. But anyway, anytime somebody, I'm gonna take an approach that people it's gonna surprise people. Because people are assuming that I'm about to say that anything that sounds good is considered white. That's not what I'm about to say. What I will say is anything that goes outside of HBCU band culture or what the identifiable standard is. So in this instance, Southern is considered white, i.e. MEAC. They like to say the MEAC is boring or whatever, but I've heard that the MEAC is white more than anything else that I've ever heard. They see all these black folk over there in the MEAC. So we can only sit there and assume that you're saying because we actually play with some goddamn sense and we try to tune. We actually try to come in together. Our drum section are playing parts that were written on a piece of music, not something that was taught by Joseph up there in the stand line. All right. Then that's all we can assume. I've told this story on the show before. I mean, when I first got to Norfolk, we used to laugh when we saw them Southern videos at first in Jackson because we were like, are they purposely overblowing the horn like that? And they were like, yeah, they blowing that hole. And I didn't get it at first. I'm not about to sit up here and lie to you. I thought they were joking until I remember. And I was like, oh, okay, that's different.
Right? Well, let me clarify some things. First of all, I never said that. I never laughed at them because I came from that culture. But back then, they ain't say blowing the hole. They were saying cranking. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Right.
Bring the mustard.
Right. But like all the people from Virginia, we ain't, because Norfolk was what we knew. Hampton was what we knew. So if you didn't sound like Norfolk or Hampton, you out there playing with that bombastic sound, and let's be honest. Southern in the 90s, now with an educated ear, they weren't over blasting like a lot of these groups are today. They just weren't. And then when I heard Southern in the 80s, I was like, damn, man, that's a jazz band on the field. That's a brass band on the field. The 44 Posse or whatever they were. I saw that video. I'm like, man, them dudes cold. They putting out just as much sound as the full band 128 does. Bro. So I started getting knowledge of this program. I'm like, okay, this program is about something. Because they were only marching with 128 at the time. That's a drum corps. And he probably got that from Ohio State because Ohio State only marches a set number and all these other schools every year. So when you think about that, man, it always came off as anything that sounds good is considered white. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that anytime you show that you're actually an educated person on the field that knows what you're talking about, you being white. Anytime you advocate for anything other than sitting up in the stands playing them rap daddies in the fifth every week, you white. Anytime you go out there and you say, hey, guys, it's okay for us to prepare our students for the real world other than just playing marching band music year round, sounding bad, that's white. I can't add more than what you said, Quan, other than the fact that anything that goes outside of HBCU band culture is considered white.
So I add one more thing real quick. So I don't care about color, but what's good is what's good. If we want to sit down and really talk about some things, if you look at old school Purdue, that's Grambling. If you look at old school Michigan, that's Southern. But we don't want to say where some of these legends.
Hold on, Quan. Let me cut you off. Mm-hmm. See, you're saying this. You're doing exactly what I just said. You're saying this from an informed perspective. You actually did the research,
right,
to go out and find this stuff out. These folks we talking about ain't doing that.
Right.
They click on YouTube and they push play. They don't click on, okay, I love the human jukebox. Where did it come from? Let's go back to the jukebox from this year, that year, that year. There's a video on YouTube right now, Quan, and everybody can go look at it. A FAMU from the 50s.
Playing, what is it, St. Louis Blues or something like that?
Playing swing. They are swinging on the field. Show me the overblowing. I'll wait. And most of it is them playing marches. There's a video, Quan, from Jackson in the 70s. Show me the overblowing. There's a video of Southern from the late 80s with Dr. Zachary. Me and Julian be weak every time we see him. In the cheek puff daddy.
I still
right. Show me the overblowing.
I still got the DVD.
Right. Like, this is a new phenomenon, Quan. This is not culture. But these people are so uninformed as to what true HBCU band culture. Some of the main people, Quan, that sit up here and argue people down and tell them they suck in that uncut group and other places, didn't play like that when they were in that band. They never. Dr. Graves would have cut that shit off quick. That ain't what we sound like. The standard was Southern. Branford Marsalis went to Southern. He ain't go to Juilliard or none of these other schools. Like, we had sense at some point, Quan, but then what happened was we allowed people to get in these positions that are underqualified. You brought this up. I'm using your argument, Quan, that are underqualified. A dude that can barely read a piece of music is running a band program. Cannot conduct in 4 to save their life. I get so tired of seeing this, or somebody go to 3 on 2. I get so tired of seeing this terrible conducting, I don't know what to do. And that person's in charge of a band program. That's what we get. So at the end of the day, man, we can go about this, Quan, as much as we want, bro. At the end of the day, the band is as good as the visionary that's standing in front of it. At the end